Hi Tess, I'm going to create a little video here to address the questions that you have about homework assignment for chapter 4. So I'm going to go over just one example here. We'll go through 2A together, and then you're going to be able to apply the same pathway to answer B and C. So all of your Punnett square work is correct. So great job on that. And you're right, you have in each of these Punnett squares, you end up with all of the same genotypes for your offspring. So all possibilities are the same. But the question is asking you to report ratios. And when we're reporting ratios, we want to do so in a consistent fashion so our audience knows what we're exactly referring to. In order to do this, we're going to report all of our values in the same order for Mendelian inheritance. So we're going to have the total number of genotypes for our homozygous dominant genotype to our heterozygous genotype to those with homozygous recessive genotype. And we read these colons as 2. Put that in there. Okay, so we look at our Punnett square results, and we know we only have 4 examples of our homozygous recessive genotype because we want to report everything that we see. So for the other 2 categories, we simply report our 0, as you mentioned in your email response to me. So we've got 0 homozygous dominant genotypes to 0 heterozygous genotypes to 4 homozygous recessive genotypes. So you can see that we're filling in all possibilities when we're reporting these ratios, and we're doing so in the same order. We're going to do the same thing for our phenotypes. So we're dealing with simple Mendelian inheritance, so that means we have one allele, in this case the tall allele, that is completely dominant to our recessive allele. So we are going to have, anytime we have one copy of our homozygous dominant allele, we are going to see the associated phenotype of tall. And when we have 2 copies of our recessive allele, we're going to see the associated phenotype, not genotype here, of short. So we look at our Punnett square and we know that in this case, the only possibility we can have is a homozygous recessive genotype. So because of that, we are only going to see 4 short. So we'll fill our 0 in for our tall. So we have 0 tall to 4 short. And it's typical to report our phenotypic ratios with the homozygous dominant phenotype, the one that's due to a dominant allele first, and then our recessive. So 0 tall to 4 short. And you always want to include, you'll notice these labels and all the ratios that I have here, our genotypic labels of letters and our phenotypic labels of words. And that's so when you're reporting this to another individual, they know exactly what you're talking about. Now, if this question would have asked about, say, percentages, that is where you could have said, we're going to end up with 100% of our offspring that are homozygous recessive genotypes, or 100% of our offspring are going to end up being short. So those are when you report percentages. And the other way you could be asked to report this information, or if you were reporting the information to someone, you could also do it as a fraction, which you included in one of your answers. So you could say 4 out of 4 of our offspring are going to have homozygous recessive genotypes or be short, right? And that's how we end up getting a percentage based out of those fractions, because we always have 4 possibilities. Okay, so when you're reporting the answers for B and C, follow the same path where you're going to be consistent with your labels. Make sure you're reporting the zeros wherever they may fall, and you'll be good to go. I hope this helps.